For a lot of visitors, the southern beaches between Kittery and Portland are what Maine is. But there's a lot more to the 23rd state in the Union than lobster rolls and beach towels. It's New Year's Eve, and we're in the town of Lubec, Maine, to join the crowd that gathers here to see the sunrise on New Year's Day. What makes this place, 6 hours north of Boston, the ultimate place to see the sunrise on the new year? This is the easternmost city in the 50 states, meaning if you're here as dark turns to light on January 1st, you are seeing the literal dawn of the new year before anyone else in the United States. Here, we are so far out into the ocean that if you got on a boat in Boston Harbor, you'd have to go 220 miles before you lined up with where we are right now. By the time the sun rises in Boston, we'll have seen it about 11 minutes sooner. That sunrise is what we drove up here to see. But first, we're checking out the New Year's Eve activities in nearby Eastport, Maine. Eastport is on what's known colloquially as Moose Island. It's actually an archipelago, tethered to the mainland by a tiny strip of land just wide enough to hold Maine State Route 190. For naturalists and historians, there's a lot to see close by. Just north of Eastport is the 45th parallel marker, the imaginary halfway point between the equator and the North Pole. What isn't in Eastport is a large population. According to the census in 2020, just 1,288 people called Eastport home, making it the least populous city in Maine, but simultaneously the easternmost city in the United States. Before we catch the sunrise tomorrow morning, we're here to see one of America's most unique New Year's Eve celebrations, the Eastport Sardine and Maple Leaf Drop.
The Great Sardine and Maple Leaf Drop is a two-drop celebration for New Year's Eve. For Canadian New Year at 11 o'clock our time, we drop a maple leaf sculpture. And at midnight our time, we celebrate New Year's again by dropping a sardine sculpture, and the brass band comes out and plays Auld Lang Syne.
After a short rest, we headed out to West Quoddy Head Lighthouse to catch the sunrise on New Year's Day at 7:06 a.m. We met a bunch of other hardy souls who were ready for sub-freezing temperatures and here for the same reason we were.
I have always kind of wanted to drive all the way up the coast of Maine. I've been living in Maine for about 10 years.
My husband and I drove up from Massachusetts and picked her up, and we came up here.
Well, I heard about the farthest east point in the United States and it being a neat experience to see the sunrise, and wanted to try it out and do a little road trip.
The sunrise was really beautiful. The sun didn't quite peek out from the clouds as immediately as I expected, but just kind of watching the light build and things slowly get more colors, and seeing people just kind of milling around and meeting and talking to each other. It was really lovely.
We were coming whether it was sleeting or snowing.
Oh yes, no matter what.
When you live in Maine, you just got driving everything.
I usually drive between 30 and 40,000 miles a year actually for things like this, hitting various state high points, hiking, backpacking, all kinds of trips and adventures.
First night celebrations around the country tend to have the raucous feel of Times Square. But for folks like these who are looking for a more unusual, less crowded New Year's celebration, the Sardine and Maple Leaf Drop and the first sunrise on New Year's Day are a legitimate adventure.